like to thank you for stopping here at Keeponcashflow. My name is Billy Keels. I'm the founder and CEO. Here at Keeponcashflow, we build bridges between buyers, sellers, and investors. But before I tell you about that, I'd like to tell you just a little bit about myself. You see, I'm not much different than you. I'm just an average guy from Columbus, Ohio, a father, a husband, and the oldest of 3 children. Coming from a middle-class family, my parents, like many others, didn't have the opportunity to go to college. But what they did do is they sacrificed. They sacrificed everything. They sacrificed their time and to work a number of different jobs. You know, my dad worked a graveyard shift. My mom worked many different types of jobs just to make sure that my brother and sister and I had the opportunity to have access to better education. And because they did that, it was what they did is they inspired us to show that when you worked hard and were focused on your dreams, that anything was possible. And the fact that they did this was, an inspiration to me, so much to the fact that I was the first person in my family, the first grandchild to graduate from university. And even beyond that, I was the first person in my family to travel outside of the United States, the first person to go to Europe, let's say. And since then, well, things have been quite different. Because you see, after university, I had a chance to work for a fantastic company. And this company gave me a very unique opportunity. In 5 years, I had a chance to meet powerful people from a multinational company perspective. I worked with people like Michael Dell, with John Chambers, Jack Nasser, Bill Gates. It was absolutely fantastic because in that 5-year time, I was working and traveling throughout some 58 different countries, networking, getting a glimpse into what their lives were like. And you see, that was something that, well, for me, it was an experience that you'll never be able to take away from me. So you see, after this 5-year stint in the multinational, I actually needed to take a break. It was time for me to have a new objective. And this time the objective was to move and live overseas again. You see, this time I actually set out 3 goals. Number 1, I wanted to learn French. Number 2, I wanted to learn how to salsa dance. And number 3, I wanted to learn more about wine. Fortunately enough, I was able to accomplish these 3 goals in less than a year. And it was at that point in time, it was time for me to go back to the States, but I'd enjoyed the experience so much that, and I was fortunate enough to start working in another multinational, this time in the south of France. And it was the time when I was in the south of France that I also had an opportunity to work and live in Italy, and I was living there for 6 months. When I came back, I was fortunate enough to meet a beautiful little Spanish woman. That Spanish woman today is the person that I call my wife and the mother of my 2 children. And I guess it was around the time that my children came that I realized that, you know what, if I kept working in the multinational, it was going to mean more planes, it was going to mean later nights, and it was also going to mean that I wasn't going to get any closer to my own financial dreams. And that's the reason, it was the inspiration for starting Keeponcashflow. The reason I want to share this with you is I want you to know that this isn't something that's just reserved for me. This is something that, you can actually do. You can go out and set very similar goals and achieve those goals. And the thing is, it doesn't matter where in the world you are. It doesn't even matter what your situation is. And, this is something that you can actually go out and accomplish. The thing that I love about real estate is, you can actually go out and develop your intellectual capital. And that intellectual capital, you can actually use to inspire other buyers, sellers, and investors. You see, if this sounds like something that you want to learn more about, I invite you to learn more about me, more about my company, and I also invite you to follow me on social media.